today we are going to make some styrofoam prints. If you don't have these little sheets of styrofoam, you can always just grab a styrofoam plate and cut it out, or you could use like a to-go box. Sometimes those are made out of styrofoam and those are styrofoam, so they'll work for this project. And what I want you to do now is think about what you want to draw on this. You could draw what I'm drawing, this moon cat. You could draw a hand, you could draw a leaf, you could draw a piece of fruit, you could just draw some squiggly lines on there, or you could write your name or a letter backwards. It's totally up to you what you want to draw on this, but I would try to make it something fun, because the reason we make prints is so that we can make multiple copies of something. So this would be like the original, like a stamp, and then you can make as many different copies as you want of this just by making prints. And in the supply list, you'll find all of the things that you need to make this. But what you do is you just put paint on this, and then you press it onto your paper, and then you have the print. I don't know which view is better. I'll move this way. And one thing you need to remember to start off with is whatever you write on there is going to be backwards when you print it, right? It's like a reflection of it. So if you're really good at writing backwards, which some of you are really good at that, then you'll be really good at this project. So I can kind of see it the right way if I'm looking through it. Or you can find somebody in your house that's super good at writing backwards and have them write the words if you want to write words. You don't have to. But the nice thing too with the foam is you can make marks in it really easily. You might have to change your drawings just a little bit. It's hard to get a lot of details in this, but you totally can. Let's get started. Before we draw onto our foam piece of paper, or our piece of foam, what we want to do is just draw maybe some ideas for what we want to put on there. And you can draw whatever you want to on there, but I'm going to draw maybe a space cat. It's just in my head and I just feel like maybe that needs to be done. So I'm just gonna draw this helmet with the collar on it, a little rectangle underneath maybe, and inside of that helmet I'm going to put a space cat. I've never drawn this before, so it's good that I'm practicing it. There's the cat's face. Maybe you'll have some whiskers. And it needs to be in kind of like a big spacesuit. That kind of looks like a snowsuit, because let's be honest, spacesuits do look like snowsuits a little bit. And maybe they're wearing some big moon boots. They're way too big for its body. Maybe they have like a moon on the side. I don't know. And they probably have a zipper and like some kind of badge or something if you're an astronaut, I would think. And maybe I'll put 2 rings on the arm. And to show they're in space, I'll put the moon over here and maybe some stars around it. Because this cat could very well be underwater, so maybe I want to make sure there's at least 1 star or 2. That is what I'm going to put on mine. And you could draw a letter if you wanted. You don't have to draw something like this. But when you're ready, grab your foam plate and draw with your pencil into it, that drawing. And you want to press into the foam plate, because that's what's going to create these prints. I need to make my space cat a little bit smaller because this paper is smaller than that. So you might have to make some adjustments, but I think that's okay. Sometimes your second drawing turns out better than your first. I think that's the case with this one. I'm gonna just put some little buttons instead of drawing so much detail. You might not want to draw something with too much detail when you're doing this. Okay, now I'm gonna add, instead of putting the moon on that side, remember when you print these, it's going to be reversed. So if you were drawing a letter, like I'll just put moon cat at the bottom, you want to draw it backwards. Some of you are really good at writing your letters backwards. You're lucky, because projects like this are easy for you. All right, I think we're ready to print this. Once you're ready, go ahead and choose the colors that you want to use. You don't need this anymore. choose the colors that you want to use and put them on your plate. You can do it more than one color. I'm just going to choose one. All right, if you have a brayer, you can use it, or if you have a big foam brush, if you're careful, you can cover it in paint and then just paint it one time over the top. This brayer is a little creaky. I hope it'll actually roll across it. It doesn't seem to be rolling at all. Well, we can still try it. Try to cover that brayer with your paint. I'm just gonna kind of roll mine around with my hand. It's not really working. And then come over to your print and maybe put some paper underneath it, just so you don't have to clean up a big mess. You wanna just rub that color over your print. Grab your clean sheet of paper and place your foam face down on it, or like right in the middle, however you want, and press it with your hands. Just press it pretty good. And then when you lift it up, you have your print. This is my moon cat, and I kind of like it. So if your brayer works better though, you won't get as much paint in these dips like this. I'm gonna wash this out and try it with my foam brush and see if I can get it to be white in these dipped areas. All right, this time, instead of using the brayer, we are just going to use a paintbrush because I just don't feel like this is working very well. I'm gonna put a lot of paint on this. This time, let's try to use our foam brush. So after you get your drawing in there, and I actually washed this out because I feel like the paint got too much in all of these little areas and I want them to be white. I don't want them to have more color. So grab some, this is just tempera paint, on your foam brush. The nice thing with this foam brush is it's really wide, so it should cover quite a bit. And then what we're going to do is just, let's go from the top and just go down once. The nice thing with the brayer is it's usually really smooth, but I can't get it to work. If you think you might need some more, like down here, make it a little bit darker. Grab your clean sheet of paper, press your print down, I'm gonna have to press that side with all that paint. Lift it up. There, that is a much better print. Okay, so I like the foam brush a little bit better than, this was using the brayer and it just doesn't look as bright. So here is Moon Cat in all of his glory. And the nice thing is, once you've made this foam plate, you can just keep making prints. You could do different colors. We could even I'll try a different color. I'll wash it out and try a red maybe. The real test is if you can get two prints to look the exact same. There is our next Moon Cat. So try to make two prints looking the same, or three if you can. How did it go? I hope it turned out well for you and you enjoyed making these. Hopefully you got to make like 2 or 3 different prints of your styrofoam thing that you made. I'm really excited to see them. And now what you can do is take another styrofoam sheet and create another print. And what I would do with this print is try to give it a border, like draw an edge around it, a nice frame, and you can draw, if you need some ideas, you could draw things from nature, you could draw animals, you could draw food, your best friend, anything, really, just anything. And I would try to use some texture in it. Like we talked about hatching and cross-hatching and drawing, you could try to use some cross-hatching or hatching to create some shadows in your drawings that you're making for this. But have fun, and I hope you enjoyed this project and you learned how to make these prints. You know what's really cool with this is it's a great way to make cards for people. So you could make whatever card you want out of this, and then just make a bunch of prints and send them to your family and your friends or your neighbors. They would be really happy to get something from you, I bet. All right, good luck everybody. Have a great day.